Thank you so much for tuning in to P2P Relates, where we talk about all things relationships. I'm Pat Renfro, and today I want to talk to you about how to handle disappointment. Life is full of disappointments. There's all types of things that occur that prevent us from seeing things the way we thought they would turn out. And so I hope by the end of this talk, you will have a different perspective about responding and reacting to disappointments, since they are inevitable. I was thinking about it today, and there are 3 things that I think really exaggerate disappointment. The first one is you have an expectation that's unmet. That's what brings it up. That's what causes it to be something that is unfulfilling to you. The second thing is it's how you frame it. If I have a disappointment, I expected a thing to happen and something else happens instead, or that thing doesn't happen at all, I am unable to be grateful. And gratefulness is a powerful tool to get you through this life. So anything you're doing that stops you from being grateful, you need to check it. And the third piece, your disappointment is usually displaced. And what I mean by that is sometimes we want to do a thing. Oh, mommy, can I go? I want to go. No, I'm going to take Susie this time. I'm disappointed. I'm poking my mouth out. But the reality is maybe I don't need to be on that trip. Maybe there's something else that's more important for me to be. Or maybe the person that was selected was the most ideal person for that role. See, sometimes we go and ask, can we do a thing? When the truth is, it's not our time. It's not our gift. It's not our call. If we don't recognize that, and as a result, we allow ourselves to be resentful, bitter, angry, accusatory, and all the other feelings that can come from entitlement, we will lose our joy. We will then begin to get focused on the wrong thing. It's really important to recognize that I believe we were born on this earth with a purpose. We didn't just pop into existence and then figure it out on our own. No, we had a creator who brought us here and put a gift in us. And our job, more than anything, is to figure out what that gift is and figure out what that purpose is so we can be about getting it done. So one of the tips that I would like to give you is if you can stop and say to yourself, what is it I'm really supposed to be doing? And then give it all you got, you can avoid a lot of disappointment. Now, the caveat is recognize that there are seasons in life for everything. There's a season if you want to be a parent to birth a child. There's a season to be educated or to get work experience. There's a season for retirement. If you recognize that because life is in seasons and because you don't know everything, you don't have a videotape that can tell you all the future. So all you can do is focus on what is it I should be doing in my life overall. Can't predict it. You don't even know how it's going to really turn out. But you can stop and say, okay, hold on. What are my gifts? What is it I'm passionate about? What is it that I find myself doing when I'm not even thinking about it? I'm just actually automatically flowing into that behavior or that task. What is it that my friends would say, oh yeah, when you're with Pat, she's going to be doing this, or she's really good at that. Those are the things that are going to kind of give you some clues and some direction as to what it is you should be focusing on. And if you just focus on that instead of all the other peripheral things around you, other interesting opportunities that you would like to be involved with, and just focus on doing all you can to figure out your purpose, figure out your gifts, figure out the reason you're here on the earth, and then begin to pursue those things. And once you figure out what that is and you stay on course, boredom, hopelessness, disappointment will fall off of you. Now, I will admit that as I was preparing this message, I thought about just everyday potential disappointments. I was getting dressed, and I had to zip up my dress on my own. And I thought, man, trying to reach back there and unzip my outfit, what if I tore the zipper? I would be disappointed. But then one of the things that I'm starting to do more and more is I'm starting to stop and say, think about this. What should you be doing? How should you be doing it? And more importantly, because we're going to make mistakes, we're humans. How can I learn from the mistake I made? Because in most cases, if something doesn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out, there's a mistake in there somewhere. And most of the time, the mistake is me. The mistake is me thinking or assuming or feeling entitled to getting that particular experience or that opportunity. And if I recognize that maybe that wasn't for me, because what's for me is for me, I could release that disappointment because I really shouldn't have been expecting it to happen anyway. Now, that doesn't negate that we shouldn't shoot high. We should shoot for the stars. We should try to do the very absolute best and have great imagination for possibilities in our life. That's not what I'm talking about. But what's really important is to understand that when you miss the mark, when you don't accomplish that thing that you presumed would happen, that you believed, that you hoped for, that you wanted so badly, step back, take a look, and realize that, is this the season for that? Are these the things that I should be focusing on? Where did that unmet expectation come from? Was it founded? If we can just go that way instead of this should have happened, it's not fair, I should have got that, why didn't they give it to me? You could really change how you're responding to life. And it's really critical that you can stop and say, you know what? I'm grateful. You know what? It could be worse. In fact, I looked over there. I saw this, I heard that, and those were all worse. And no matter how bad your situation is, it could be worse. So if you can stop and start being grateful and start taking responsibility for your own life and start recognizing where you have control, which is not outside of yourself, and where you don't have control, and that even some of the things within yourself, you don't have control because you didn't create yourself. When you put those things together and you start thinking, you know what, let me just focus. I'm going to tell you one more quick story. I was young and I was wild. And I had a period where I was just dating. And one day, nobody was knocking on my door. And I was disappointed. I was like, what's going on? And I was just really overwhelmed with this thought about my entitlement to dating. And one day I stopped and I said, wait a minute. And that happened for friendships, that happened for activities and just things you wanted to do and you were bored. And I thought, you know what? Think about what it is you need to be doing. If you just made a list every day of all the things you need to accomplish that are important, whether they're mundane or fun or goal-oriented or whatever, you wouldn't have time to get it all done in a day. And I got really good about not just busy work, but just trying to focus on what I'm supposed to be doing. And it wasn't an easy journey. It wasn't always smooth sailing. It took me many, many years, and I'm still getting better and better at it. But I recognize that I need to focus on what it is I'm supposed to be doing. And if I do that, there are barely enough hours in the day to get it all done. And I will probably continually minimize the amount of hours in a day I waste on things that have nothing to do with my purpose. All right, that's it. That's all I got for you this week. Look forward to you next week. Thank you so much for checking in, and have a great, great week. And maybe play this again or tell some other people about it. But do some work on figuring out, what is your purpose? What is the reason you are here on earth to do? What are your gifts and talents? Focus on those things, and you will have less and less disappointment. All right, take care. Bye.